I've always just imagined that photographers are school dropouts. And I think that was very challenging for those of us that heard at a young age, where the only thing that was in my mind was just build your portfolio, create images, not because you are being paid to do it. Just do it for the love of it.
BigH, a renowned creative photographer in Nigeria, known for his artistic approach to portrait, fine art, and wedding photography, as well as his commitment to mentoring the next generation of photographers. BigH.
We were up and coming, working with up and coming.
What do you think is different between replication and inspiration?
It's okay to be inspired. I'm inspired by Obisomto, George being a fantastic business person, Oyeleke and Titiwa Ekelechi Amadiobi. Copying somebody's work from start to finish is not the best way to go. We take advantage of the fact that we are young, but we don't think about 20 years from now. When you don't have the legs to shoot with, what's the plan? Make sure that you are thinking about who will win. There is something bigger than me, and it is before you say anything. Can I just say that I actually just I've always just liked these mics. I see people have podcasts. I'm like, it's so bougie. So I'm like,
let me tell you the only reason this mic is, I don't even know if the sound sounds good. I just want to do like this.
because I'm used to the ones that you clip.
Yes.
You understand? And then sometimes you see you just dress fine, and then there's one thing bulging here, or you go for an interview, and there's some guy will just walk to you and say, "Sir, I'm the sound guy. Can I clip you on?" They will not be nakeding you to be putting one rope like this. Then me now, I'm very hairy. Then the clip will now have masculine tape or something. Then oh my god! But this is quite let's not do free adverts for them, but
very refined.
You know that 2-3 years ago I was going to start my podcast, so I invested so much in it. I got the mixer, I have these mics, and so many other things. I actually went to a specialist and said, what do I need? You understand? Plenty money. This thing finally arrived in Nigeria last year, and I've not brought it to the studio. It's still in the guys' this thing, because obviously with the renovations and everything, we're not ready, but we have a place for it. And also because I've been asking myself, what do I want my podcast to be about? You understand? And until I answer that question, I'm not going to
tell stories.
To start.
Tell stories. That's a good place.
We'll consider that. But I really like the mic.
If you don't see Uncle BigH do it in the next, just be in his DM. Be in his DM. He will do it. A lot of us young photographers, so many of us are still really, really young. It's like last year there was a wish to last to marry among creatives. It was a wish. But talk to me about creativity and marriage. Your journey with creativity, and how much having a great partner or the partner you marry affects it. Because I see this work we do takes a toll. It takes a lot from us. It takes time. It takes finance. It can be thinking of buying lens, but your partner is not on the same distance with you. It takes time. Every now and then, if you're somebody like BigH that is in and out of Lagos now and then,
in and out, or lives in Lagos and visits Abuja. BigH lives in Lagos and visits Abuja.
Exactly. And you even in recent times, you've been doing a lot of work in Lagos. Traveling and all that. So I feel like there's something marriage. I'm sure there is something that someone has to consider too, with respect to the aspect of the work that they do when they're choosing a life partner.
I think that when choosing a life partner, you want somebody that believes in your vision as much as you also believe in theirs. You want someone that is also understanding of the sacrifices that needs to be made towards the actualization of that dream and that vision. I think that I always give credit to my wife. She has played a huge part in where I am by letting me thrive. Because I mean, if she didn't want to let me thrive, she knew all the many things that she needs to do. Um, you have wings, you can fly. If somebody clips those wings, you can't really make too much progress. So I think that for her, she's just really allowed me to do what I want to do. She's not frustrated me in any way with regards to the work. I mean, look at the work that we do. We are always photographing women, for starters.
Oh, that's true.
All manner of women, beautiful women, tall, short, everything, If you have somebody who is overly jealous, that can also affect your work. You understand? If you have somebody who is giving you curfew and letting you come, you have to be home by 7.
Yeah.
Then what will I say to the client that I'm shooting the after party at the wedding? Do you understand?
But the clients
So
wants their picture
it's
tomorrow.
important, not just for the male photographers, even for the female photographers to have supportive husbands as well, because I think that the female photographers suffer it more than we do. If you have a husband who doesn't support your work, there's only how much you can achieve. You understand? So for creatives, we should consider all of this when choosing a partner. And maybe this is also why creatives like to marry creatives. So you see cases where a photographer is marrying a model or marrying a makeup artist or marrying a stylist, so that they're able to form some sort of collaborative bond. You understand?
And both parties understand the
and
nature.
both parties understand the nature of the work. You have somebody like two-man studios, is husband and wife. You understand? So, but if you have a partner outside the creative sector who supports you, I think that's such a big deal, and I think it's important to have a supportive partner.
So what kind of conversation do we need to be having? Because these things, I feel like people, for us women, because of the pressure that comes with getting married and settling down, a lot of us don't ask these important questions that affect us I'm talking about women when it comes to career and the things that are important to us. What kind of questions do you think we should be asking maybe prospective partners that will enable us pinpoint how a person can react, or what will be this person's response to say, oh, I have to do night shift to edit
Questions on money.
Questions on money.
What do you feel about me as a woman any more than you?
Okay.
Ask him that question. It's important. You understand? Because if you're going to be successful in your career, maybe at some point you'll be bringing in more of the cash than your husband. If your husband feels threatened or your partner feels threatened by that, then maybe that is a red flag. Maybe that's something that you're not able to continue. What do you think about working late?
Yeah.
You understand? What do you think about me working at all? Do you want to have a housewife, or do you like career women? Do you understand? For the man, you understand, you want to know, is your wife the jealous type? It's very, very important. There are people that take their jealousy to the extreme level. You understand? We are in this work where we're always on our phones talking to clients, and some of them can sound very endearing. Hi, BigH, how are you? I really love the pictures. And then if you're there for me, why is she flirting with my husband? Yes, that's going to be a problem. Do you understand? So you want to ask the right questions. I've always said, when you are dating, don't just focus on eating shawarma, pizza, going to the movies and all of that. You are dating to marry for the future. So whatever it is that you're doing while dating, the future should be in view. You understand? And that future could be your career. You understand? How many kids that you're going to have? Where are kids going to school? Ask the right questions. They are very, very, very important. I think that you are going to see the signs even during courtship, whether this person is going to support you or not. Take for example, babe, I've been able to raise like 2.5 million, you understand, and the rent for this studio that I want to move into is about 5 M. Do you think that, or maybe 3.5, do you think that you can loan me 1 million so that I can, make up money for my rent? See his response and see how he responds to that. If he immediately wants to discourage you from doing that, or says that I don't even know what you're doing with all this, your studio thing to not work, this 2.5, bring it, let me go and invest it in fish farm, let me do something. Do you understand? You start to see the signs from when you are dating, whether this person is going to support your photography dream or not. Now, he's not going to do anything different when he gets married to you from what he was doing when he was dating you. I know that people change. You understand? I know that because
And
they
people
want
camouflage.
and people camouflage. I know that, but that is also where prayer comes in. I watched. This is so funny. I watched something on YouTube recently about finding love in church. This guy camouflaged to be a Christian, born again, speaking in tongues, everything, just because he liked a particular girl in church. And it wasn't even a liking unto marriage, just a liking unto I will shag this girl and prove to you that I can shag church girls. Sorry for my French.
And
you understand?
Do all that work just for that?
Yes. So because his friend had tried and failed. So he said it's because you went as a churchman. I want to tell you that these church girls like a little bit of a sprinkle of bad boy. So they want a Paula de Farasin with a sprinkle of 50 cents here and there. You understand? They may not necessarily want the Nathaniel Bassi and the Dusin because they feel like, oh, they're too righteous. It's quite boring.
I don't want to be Mommy Gio.
Or they don't want to be Mommy Gio. And in that video, she said, God, please give me a sign. I really like Ebuka. I want him to be mine. And the next thing, Ebuka calls and she feels like that is the sign that God has given her. And then her pastor warned her about the guy. Her friend warned her about the guy. And then she gave the guy a second chance. Sorry, this has nothing to do with photography. Gave the guy a second chance. They're out on a date. And then the guy last week finished having a threesome with 2 other ladies. And one of the ladies was in the restaurant and came and started saying, my sister, are you sure you can handle this man? This man only does 2 and above. And just starts talking different things that, made the lady see that, this guy is not what he says he is. Do you know that this girl still forgave him? Under God, show me a sign. So this is now the main sign.
So
because
this is not a sign.
The pastor said that I pray that God will give you a sign that confirms the feeling you have for him or shows you that this person is not for you. So second sign, they are in the house. They have already started wearing matching pajamas, getting ready for Christmas, taking pictures, forming love. Because the girl said that she wants a bad boy from the street that has converted. You understand? So that she will be the person to win him to
So
Christ.
a Christian with a street CV.
Thank you very much. Good. Now, people are just wondering what's BigH talking about. But in that house, one woman now came in. The girl rushed to open the door for the woman, elderly woman, and says, oh, is your mom here? Because the guy said, mommy, welcome. Says, your mom? The guy said, which mom? Apparently that woman is his sugar mommy who finances his life. You understand? And she's now sad that the boy is, dating a younger person. She calls 2 bodyguards to beat them up. You understand? Beat the guy, beat the girl. So the last part of the video is the girl is on the phone talking to the pastor. I say, Pastor, I've seen this sign. He's not the one. I pray that we don't get to that point.
Open our eyes, because what is this?
Yes. So I shared this story to say that yes, people camouflage, but let's just trust that God opens our eyes to meet the right partner. I think
Mommy,
that
please keep praying for me.
the right partner would support your dream.
Yeah.
If you're a creative and you want to continue imagine somebody like you or somebody like Nicole wants to marry, and then the person say, I really don't like this camera that you're holding. Where do you want to start? Many people find validity in their work. Many people, they once you cut that away from them, you've destroyed them. How do you want them to cope? Yeah,
and for me, it's even a form of self-expression.
Thank you.
It's a language for me.
Yeah.
It's my voice.
Yes.
So, God,
He said, I got a big.
all right, we've come to the community corner where our audience and our community are ask their own questions. Because
Okay.
all these questions are my problems I'm solving here.
Your selfishness.
So now let it not be that I solve my problems and I tell them to listen. They should please bring their own questions. So the first question, this person is Kweku Boateng, says, from Ghana. Ask him an influential person he would love to photograph.
I would love to photograph Obama.
Woo!
I'm such a fan of how he became president.
Yes.
Not so much of so many things that he represents.
Yes.
But I feel like I would love to photograph IBB again. I have photographed him before. I would like to photograph him now because I feel like what was I even doing that time? Do you understand? So I want to just go back and retake that portrait. It was a nice portrait, don't get me wrong. But I would like to photograph IBB. An influential person. If I could give anything in this world to photograph my father, I would, because he never saw me be a photographer. No, I never discussed that with him. I don't think he passed away when I just finished uni, and I wasn't even thinking around doing photography.
Yes.
Do you understand? I would love to photograph my father because, my dad.
Who else would you want to see?
Who else?
Don't too fast. There's a follow-up question to that. So you said, let's say Obama, right?
Yes.
Okay. The follow-up question is, if you receive a call to photograph Obama without any form of information, you don't know where he is, you don't know what he's wearing, you don't know anything about the shoot details. Like you have to go now, and it says pick 3 equipment aside from your camera and lens.
Aside from my camera and lens,
what are you taking?
I'll take my phone.
Okay.
I'll take my phone.
Why?
Because your best equipment is your eyes.
Okay.
You have to see the image first before you create it, before you start to depend on tools. And I don't believe that the best tools are the cameras and the lenses. They are great tools. I don't think that they are the only tools.
True.
I think that my phone can also do a great job. So in the case where I am not allowed to take my camera.
No, you're taking your camera aside from your camera and lens.
Oh, aside from my camera and lens. Oh. So 3 things. Aside
from your camera and
I
lens.
thought you meant you can't take your camera and
you're
lens.
taking your camera and lens, but aside from it, you get.
I will still take my phone.
Okay.
Now everybody has to be a content creator.
How would they know?
How would they know that you went to the White House?
That's the story you have to tell.
I need to tell the story, so I don't want to take a picture now, and then this guy is saying that I use AI. Where is he? One of them. I knew that he was the one.
That one.
No, I knew without saying anything. So I'll take my phone, for sure. I'll take light, but I wouldn't. When you want to photograph an iconic person, you don't need a lot of light. So I would maybe just take one.
You don't even have a choice. You only have 3 items to pick.
3 items. So I've taken phone.
You've taken
light. What? Oh! Can I say music? Because that's very important. So can I just use the music in my phone? So I still have 2. Abi? So I can play the music in my phone.
You still have to, because you can play music in your phone.
So music in my phone. So that's phone. Phone for music and content. Light, obviously we need light, even though I would want to photograph him in front of his window, you understand, and use natural light. The third thing that I would take to photograph Obama, Lord.
Dun dun.
What's the third thing? My assistant.
Kweku was trying to treat. Kweku said I should ask you what happened to your memory card.
Nice. That was a good one. I think that he has asked this question before. No, that was a good one. Okay, so scratch that. My phone, my light, and my memory card. But if I must say,
yes,
with my initial answer, when I get there and I realize that I don't have my memory card with me, I use my phone.
Yeah,
I'll use my phone.
Let me tell you, I was in, is it Kano? I don't want to spoil the name, but there's this turbaning that they do, and my client actually, yes, the wedding was in Kaduna, but we had to go to Kano and then she said I only have to come with me because they don't have logistics for assistants and all that to come with me to the place. So I only went alone.
If that was me, I wouldn't even take the job.
Yes. So this was happening.
If they told me,
exactly,
this was happening as the wedding was.
Yes.
If they told me before going for the wedding, that's
I
cute
won't
for
have
not,
agreed.
Yeah.
So because of the fact I'm already there, and also at the end of the day, I always just tilt towards the client's happiness at the end of the day, as long as it doesn't affect my health or my safety or anything. Let me just do the job and then figure it out later. So I followed her because what she said to me didn't really demand me to do so much. But what happened is that when we got there really late, we left Kaduna really late, so we're going to Kano really late. I think I got there, I was tired. I forgot about charging batteries and all that. So the next day event started, and I just picked my camera and I moved. And that's because usually my sister charges my camera battery, so I completely forgot.
Just like me too.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time I plugged it.
I completely forgot about charging batteries. And just, they have this, I don't know, I call it procession. I don't know, when they are doing the horses and they are parading and everything. Yeah. And I've been taking pictures. Just when her husband started arriving to where she is, because she's the beauty where they are on top. And the husband is coming. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be some sort of greeting, acceptation to her. Battery have off.
Ow.
My camera battery have off.
Oh.
I don't know where the heat came from, but I started sweating. Because that is the one shot.
Oh my God.
I've been taking before is just preamble. That is the shot she's going to ask me for.
That is the shot.
I look up, I look down. I say, my village people have catch me today. Then I saw my phone. I just used my phone and just took the picture. She didn't even put in her album.
Of course. I was just about to say, in that moment, after panicking, just use your phone.
Yes, I just picked my phone.
It's also important for photographers to invest in a good phone. I found out many years ago that my phone also helps to train my eyes. A photographer has to love how to take pictures with his phone. Don't just always... Some moments are fleeting. You can't always wait for the ceremony of setting up your camera, putting your lens, putting your battery before you take a picture. Take the picture with your phone. Do you understand? Get a good phone. If you want to take a portrait, put on portrait mode, blur out the background. Do you understand? There is landscape, there is wide angle, there is all of that stuff. And most of these phones now have really good resolution. You can come up with something around 4 MB you get. And put it on a print and nobody will even know. Yeah.
And Pixie tells you the activities of your clients, what pictures they download and the pictures they don't download. She created a favorite folder.
Yes.
There were like 8 or 10 pictures, portraits.
And that one was there. Of course.
All the creativity I did in Kaduna before we got to Kaduna, maybe like 1 or 2.
Of course.
Was inside there. Say, see God.
Thank God.
For saving my life.
Thank you for saving me. Thank you, my Lord.
I made it back from Kaduna. I would have just gone from there.
Thank God.
But yeah, thank God for that. So yes, your phone. I agree. I agree. Good choice. Liberty Picture says... So basically, I'm going to just paraphrase because sometimes autocorrect the English doesn't know. He's basically trying to say if you had to build the BigH Studios brand from afresh today, you don't have the network you have, you have the equipment, you don't have the network you have, and how the journey. What's the one key thing that you would take with you from your journey?
3.
Okay, 3. Give me 3.
God.
Okay.
Hard work. People
is key too.
I say it all the time. Work very hard, but don't depend on your hard work.
Elaborate on people, because we say you're not taking your network that you built over the years.
Elaborate on people that wherever it is that you need to get to in life, you need people. Okay. And I'm not necessarily talking about even the network that you have. Start building new networks. You understand? Networks. Have a team. People are important. Team building. People are important. Clientele. people are important across all boards. You understand? So, yeah.
Azure Studios says how to unlock a realm that allows a creative like him tap into how God views creativity.
Read the book of Genesis. Read the book of Genesis, because the book of Genesis gives us an insight into where creativity started from. I asked a question in one of the workshops that we had. Why do we create? We create because in the beginning God said, let there be, and there was. God is the first creator. And then when you read Genesis, you will see that man was formed out of dust and he put his breath in man. So that breath carried God-given ability to create alongside every other thing. You understand? So if you want to key into a dimension in creativity and you think that you can do it outside of your relationship with God, it doesn't work for me. You understand? And to get into that realm, so it's like God saying, I am the one that can part the Red Sea. When you get to the Red Sea, I am the only one that can part the Red Sea. So make sure that when you get there, I am with you. Then it is not time for you to get to the Red Sea, and you left him in Egypt. Do you understand? So it's to tap into the person that can open that realm of creativity for you. I think that is something that I am starting to champion, to just talk about the God factor in the work that we are doing. I see it prevalent in my work. It just doesn't make sense, Ijeoma, when I go through the work that I do, that this is just superficial. It is not. It's supernatural.
Supernatural. Okay. The next question is, it also said, what's the one thing your community will be surprised to learn about you?
My community would be surprised to know that I was reading medicine before I became a photographer.
I don't actually think they'll be so surprised, because there's someone that has a question about medicine somewhere here.
So they must have heard me say that, but many people will be surprised if I said to them that I will, or my community will be surprised when I tell them that I got 7 F9s in YA.
Like,
see all of them. See all of them like, how? Like, why?
With all these things you're doing.
With this. That is the God factor. That's what happens with grace. Grace makes things that doesn't make sense to make sense.
Grace qualifies you.
Grace qualifies us. You understand? It doesn't make sense that the thief on the cross made heaven. What qualified him? Grace.
Do you know one thing does not make sense to me?
What?
Why Job was on his own. Job.
And the devil went to
and
man.
The devil came. And God not even say, this one, leave him. He's doing, because the Bible said that he was righteous in all ways. So why didn't you just stay there and leave this one? And you can't tell the one that every 2 nights or something they are doing maybe prostitution or something, the one or the other. Why Job?
Because
that Job story still haven't started. I still have to ask God when I get to heaven.
That story is, the book of Job itself is a very great book. I discovered something in the book of Job recently where Job was having a conversation with God, and I was reading that passage, and it just felt like it almost sounded like God was shouting. Like when you read it, like, where were you when I made the heavens and the earth? Were you there? God was just trying to say that, look, me and you, there is no comparison.
We're not made.
Me and nobody, there is no comparison. Why are you asking me questions? Do you understand? And many things that we can't understand. When people talk about why or where BigH is where he is, I'll just say, take it up with God. I can't explain it myself. Do you understand? And that is why I try as much as possible to always give credence to God, you understand, for everything. There are times I'm in my car, I always tell the story, and I'm just parked somewhere and I'm just crying like, wow, like, look at where we are coming from. But it's important for us to know that God is not doing it for us.
It's for his kingdom.
Thank you. He's not doing it so that you can get the accolade. So that he's not doing it because you are his favorite. He's not doing it because it is you. It is because of him. The thief in the cross did not go to heaven because of anything other than Jesus Christ himself. You understand? So that when he gets there, they ask him, how come you are here? He says, that man, The one in the middle of the
Take it
cross
up with him.
that gave it. Just
Yes,
go
ask
and
him.
meet him. Thank you.
Follow who no road. He's the one. Jesus is the one.
I love that. I love that.
Jesus is the one. So that's Sochi Pictures. Now Sochi Pictures is the one that I think he has some background knowledge about you, because he's
What's
the
this
one
person?
that is asking
Who
about
is
the
this person?
medicine. He's the one that
What's
asked
this person's
about
name?
Sochi Pictures.
Okay.
Yes.
Sochi.
Sochi. First of all, he has 3 questions.
Is Sochi, did it start with T?
S. Sochi.
Okay.
Sochi.
Sochi, okay.
I think it's Sochi.
Okay,
If
okay.
I have to pronounce it as
Okay,
an Igbo
okay,
name.
okay.
Yes. How much study and practice goes into the BigH we are seeing today? Now, I think what this person is trying to ask is, because if a lot of us look at you, I was when are we going to be like this? So I feel like this person is overwhelmed by being inspired by you. It's a thing where you can be inspired by someone, but the work they have done over the years also overwhelms you, because you now start thinking, how long do I have to do this thing? Do I have the patience and the time to do this thing before I can get to this place? So inspiration can sometimes be overwhelming. So I think that's where this person is coming from. He's asking how much work, study and practice goes into the BigH we are seeing today.
I want to answer that question so bad,
Okay.
but I'm afraid.
Why?
I'm afraid because there's a thin line between answering the question and gloating and being proud.
Okay.
Thin line because it almost would sound like I am recognizing my work, and it's important that you work. Yesterday night, I was doing night shift. You understand? And even in the doing night shift, you are burning the midnight candle. You are putting in the work. There's no shortcut. You must, as a photographer and as a creative, put in the work. You would work hard. You would almost be the hardest worker in the room. You would lose friends. You understand? You would lose your mind. You get? But never lose the hunger. I was editing, I was working, and I was still asking questions of my work. I was still saying, oh, I don't like this. Oh, how can I change this? You understand? Don't get to that point where you feel like you have arrived. Give room for self-improvement and continuous improvement. You understand? So what the person is seeing is somebody who is still asking questions of his work, somebody who is still willing to evolve and be better. There is no place to get to and you say, I have gotten to this place and this is the final bus stop. As long as you have life, I always believe that there are still better ways to do what we are currently doing. So work hard, burn the midnight candle, ask questions of your work, just dedicate yourself to it. But please, add all of this and still understand that it is still not up to trusting God.
Yes. Don't forget the God factor. Okay. The next question from Suchis. He said, you said you felt so much that they gave you the expo. I don't know where this story is coming
Yes.
from.
This person actually knows me.
Yes.
And I still failed.
Yes, and you still failed medical school.
Yes.
Connecting the dots today. I think maybe it's making one would say you are greatly benefiting from the failures that led to your success. I think maybe he's making a comment.
Yes, I think he's making a comment.
Yes.
And I like to agree, because if I was getting A1 in biology, physics, and chemistry, I would be a medical doctor today. And that itself is not bad. But is that my purpose? You understand? I think that what I'm doing is what God wants me to do. I strongly believe that this is my purpose. You understand? And whatever it is that led me to finding this, I'm grateful to God for that.
Yeah. So she's still asking another question. So she said, at what point did you embrace photography, like own it as your own? Because you've talked about how sometimes when you run into your father's friend at an event,
This person has attended some vulnerable sessions that
This
I've
person
had.
has
That
backgrounds.
yes, this
He has
person has
backgrounds.
attended.
and then he said something. He said, "Oh, the screenshot got caught somewhere." He said, anyway, that's the summary of what he's saying. So he's saying, at what point did you own photography?
2016.
Okay, talk to me about that.
2016 was when I quit my 9 to 5 2016 was when I decided to pursue photography fully.
So you were doing photography and still doing your 9 to 5?
Yes. Yes. I would do photography weekends and focus on my 9 to 5 weekday. And then when my boss is not around, I would take jobs because it's easy to not go to work when your boss is not around. I was answerable only to my superior boss.
Yes.
My superior boss being my mom.
Okay.
You understand? Now, I say this because it is not like I had the time to do photography. No, I needed to be at the office. I had work that I was doing at the office. But if my mom goes on a business trip for a few days that doesn't require me to be there, I move. I take a booking or go and create this thing. But my weekends were filled with, that was the only time that I had to do. But when somebody's calling you to Kaduna or Kano or Lagos to do a job and you tell them that, oh, I can't come because of my 9 to 5, sooner or later, that becomes the narrative. Oh, don't hire him. He has a 9 to 5. So one day I just woke up and I said, I'm not going back. You understand? And I think that was the start.
But you still not answered his...
His question is, at what point did I own it?
Yeah, like he said, give me a minute. He said because you used to talk about when you go into events and run into
okay, I get what you mean. So he's saying that I've shared this story before. I'll go for events, I would meet some of my father's friends, and I'll be hiding.
Yes.
Because I used to think that they would see me as a failure. Many of them expected that I would have, continued on my father's path, or, I studied international business, so maybe they were expecting to see me in some multinational companies or even United Nations, whatever it is, doing the Lord's work, so to say. And, why are you carrying a camera? We talked about how people were already looking at us as school dropouts. So did you feel that much that nothing worked out for you, that you are now having to resort to carrying camera? So it was a shameful thing for me. I would hide. One notable experience was when I saw Engineer Kure, Bafarawa. These were all ex-governors. One was an ex-governor of Sokoto and the other one is an ex-governor of Niger State. Both of them, my father's very good friends. I didn't go there because you would have to greet them. They would first of all commiserate with you on the loss of your dad, and then now look at you and say, so what are you doing now? And you're
those lines, actually.
And then you're taking pictures. Oh, that's good though. You must really be passionate about it. But in their mind, they're like, oh, such a failure, because your dad did so many great things. And I want to use this opportunity to say something that helped me. I always wanted to walk in my father's shoes. You can't tell me anything. There's nobody as important as my father, apart from my mom. You understand? But being the first child, I idolized my dad. So I always wanted to be and feel his shoes. And then one man said to me, many, many years ago, he said to me, and he's a pastor, if I see him, I'll tell him that statement you made almost ruined my life. He said to me that if by the age of 40, you don't achieve more than what your father has achieved, by 40, you're a failure. So I grew up with that mentality that I needed to be something to show the world that I was as successful. But I was chasing shadows. You sometimes will not fit your father's shoes, because maybe my father is wearing a size 50 and I have a leg of size 45. How would I run in my father's shoes? So make your own shoes, create your own path, and make sure that you don't make your child fit into your shoes. Tell your child you can be who you want to be.
Find your purpose.
Find your own purpose. If he wants to be a chef, let him be a chef. Your work is to guide him on how to be a successful chef, not how to be like you. I don't force my kids to carry camera. When I see them play with the camera or carry camera, I just smile. But I don't say, hey, I'm going to buy a photography book. No. I want you to be authentically you. There's something that God put in you to do in this world, to give people. That's what I want you to find. And if that thing is photography, then I'm the best person to guide you on that path. If it is not photography, I am supposed to still guide you on that path. So that is one of the things that helped me. Last story to answer his question.
Okay.
My mom used to always say to me, why I heard that you are lying down at weddings, taking pictures. You are lying down on the floor. A very tricky. What is the matter? You want people to laugh at me? Da, 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 da. You know? And then one day, she was at her client's house.
Yes.
They had finished discussing business. I'm answering the question
Yes.
to when you started owning it.
Yes.
They had finished discussing business, and they were walking out of the house. And then the man's wife just casually said, sister, do you know where I can take really nice pictures? You know, there's this guy, I have been trying to reach him. I cannot reach him. If I call, his PA this one, that one, that one, that one. I was like, hey, what's his name? His name is BigH. Do you even know how I can get across to him? She said, BigH? Are you sure? She said, that's my son. That was it.
That was it.
So my mom started saying that now she calls herself Mama BigH. And that's such a fulfilling experience, because the woman came here, we shot her, she paid, she was very, very happy. So now I am now photographing the people that I was running away from. I'm either photographing them or I am photographing their children for their wedding or whatever it is. That's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
So Sochi, I hope Sochi has
Sochi, if this did not answer your question, there's nothing else
Sochi
I
has
can
some
say.
serious backgrounds on you. Let me tell you. Okay. I forgot to write this person. He said, "Do you have a client experience feedback system?"
Do I have a client experience feedback system? I'm going to be very, very honest. I'm just winging it.
Okay.
When I send you the link, I just would ask for feedback. You understand? And when you are silent, I'm worried. Or when you get the link and instead of typing, you're sending me
voice note.
Voice note. I'm like, hey, Jesus, what is going on?
Oh God.
But I think that system is necessary.
Yes.
You understand? Because it can also foster growth. You understand? And continuous improvement in the business. When people are giving you feedback, they're not criticizing you for you to feel bad.
Yes.
But they're sending you criticism so that you can look inwards and see what you can do to do better and improve. So even now in this level, I still want to be better. So I would always ask clients what they feel. And even where I'm not asking, I read their countenance or their responses.
Yes.
If you are sending me one line, nice pictures, no. Stop it. Don't. What is nice pictures?
Be nice. You're patronizing me.
Give me a paragraph. You understand? Tell me how we made you feel. If I don't get all those things, then I will now start to probe deeper to find out how you really feel about it.
True.
And if I feel like I didn't live up to the expectation, then there are ways I can go about it. I'm either offering a refund or offering another shoot, you understand? Or even trying to even understand what you really don't like. I find that sometimes clients don't like how they look, not that the picture is bad. So some clients have insecurities, and maybe you shot the picture in their bad angle, or they didn't like the fact that their hand was big, and they don't even know that you can fix it. So they just choose not to like it. So I let them know that there is a solution.
Sure.
And then when I maybe re-edit it, they feel like, oh, hey, I like him this picture.
God, I beg.
Yeah.
OJ Martin's photography is asking, what's the most important element in making an image or story powerful to you? Because I think this is a person.
The most important element. There's so many things to want to now say.
Give me your top 4.
Top 4. Mood.
Okay.
Mood is so important. The mood and the feel.
Yes.
The mood, the feel, the depth. Light is so important.
Light is so
important. And by light, I don't mean all those fancy, big, many things. You can use the appropriate light.
Control.
There was an image that you were looking at. I brought out one image to show you. You liked the other one that was a lot darker. You could resonate with it. There was a feel to it that you liked. And if that image was telling a story, it told that story because of how the light was used.
Yes.
You understand? So light is also important. I think that it's important to build a connection with the people that you are photographing. You understand? Sometimes people want you to capture an essence and not just a beautiful image. It is not all the time that they want that. But I have had people who have come to me to say, it's my 40th. I want you to capture where I am. So there's an image on my system where the lady said, BigH, I feel like in this season I am being reborn. I want the image to show rebirth. You can't now say, what is that? What is rebirth? I just want to snap a fine picture and move. You need to, depth is very important in this work, and you have to understand where they're coming from. Why consultations are important. Have conversations with them. Let them tell you what rebirth means to them. This woman sent me all her 7 names and the meaning of all her 7 names and how she wants 7 images to tell the story of these 7 names. These things are important.
It's an assignment.
It's an assignment. Photography is no longer click and go. You understand? So yeah, this would be my answer to the person.
O.J. Martins has a second question. How do you stay inspired and avoid creative burnout?
You can't avoid creative burnout. Creative burnout are part of the process. You would work and get to the point where you're no longer inspired, you get tired. And when you get to that point, you stop. You do other things that are not necessarily photography related. Go on a holiday. Spend some more time with your family. Spend some more time with your friends. These friends that we have forgotten. Spend some more time with them. I don't know what it's like to go and watch a movie in the cinema again. So go and do it.
Go and do it.
Do you understand? Just do things and remind yourself that you are actually just a human being, not just a creative. It can spark your creative juices again. Do you understand? So that's what tends to
What's your favorite way to unwind?
I don't have one.
So you are tired. What are you doing?
Listen to music, play chess.
Yeah.
I love gists. So
No, you have to say that again.
I love gists.
He loves gists.
So my favorite way of hanging out would be me, my team members, or me, my guys. You understand? There's community eating.
Yes, you love community.
I love community food. So we're all just putting her, everybody just eating and gisting. Oh, I love that. You understand? I really like that.
I can't pronounce it. So L photography, ELRY something says, are you a fan of routines? If yes, what are your morning routines like? I actually understand this person's question. So when I'm curious about people, and people watch a lot. Say when I say I'm a fan of somebody, maybe the thing that will bring me to them is their work or whatever it is that is unique to them.
But you feel like their routine is also what makes them tick. So
yes, I want to know what they are doing on a Saturday afternoon inside their house. Like, I want to know when you are with your friends, what are you talking about? So people watch it, so I understand why she will ask this question.
Saturday routine for me, when I'm not shooting a wedding, I love to go and play soccer.
Okay.
When I come back from soccer, I am supposed to just enter the shower and shower and get ready, but I don't. I just find a way to dry my body, remove the sweaty clothes, and jump on my bed and either start playing chess or maybe there's one editing that I'm doing. That's Saturday. During
morning
routine, I had a routine during COVID.
Okay.
My routine was to wake up in the morning, have devotion, and go mountain climbing. Those were my best years because there's just something that walk does to you mentally.
Yes.
Do you understand? Now, I don't have too much routine now. And I am trying to get back to just having a steady routines. Routines are good sometimes. Routines are good. So there's a lot of me trying to find myself again that I am doing in this moment. And I'm not there yet, but I am gradually getting there.
Do you think routines can help a burnout when you are burnt out?
I think that routines, I don't know, I maybe feel like they contribute to burnout.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like they contribute to burnout because you're bored. You're bored of doing the same thing. So you want to maybe just tweak it a bit. You understand? And just alter the routine. They say wives, pick up your husband's phone, transfer 5 million to yourself, and just don't say anything. Just if you are having too much peace, just cause kasala. Just change the narrative.
Yes.
The same thing with
Yes.
routine. Just some days, just wake up and just just do something that you wouldn't normally do. Just let your hair down while doing the right thing. Don't just let your hair down and go and do something bad. Just change the routine a bit. I think that I strongly believe that sometimes routines can contribute to burnout, and you maybe need to change it up a bit. This period, we've had a lot of time to ourselves, and that is what allows me to go sit with the team and talk about investment for a good 90 minutes. And it was just so fresh. Just seeing us sit down and just talk and bond. We had work to edit, but there's no pressure to deliver the work because they need it in April. We have time. You understand? When you're not doing a lot of work, it's time to self-reflect. It's time to plan. It's time to prepare for when the work comes.
Or even plants.
Or plant. So I was getting to that because there's a story that I learned where they said that when the tide is high, the fisherman is not in the sea fishing. So when you see him at the shore, you think he's jobless, but he's tending to his ship, his boats. He's fixing his net because the last time he went there, maybe he caught too much fish that broke the net. But when the tide goes down, that's not when he wants to fix his net. He's now going to say, I am ready to go back. So there would be a time, you understand, when we're not really doing anything. What are you doing to prepare yourself? April is going to be very, very busy. What are you doing to prepare for April? Do you understand? So use those times wisely. Rest is as important as work, if not more important than work.
Clip that.
Ijeoma, you're so funny.
Oh my God. Okay. This one is from my community members. I said, BigH, tell us something about the upcoming Follow the Light class. I know you have a team that is handling it, but all bosses back at your station.
You just took my answer from me.
I knew you were going to say that.
Can I just say something, guys? Let me just tell you something. Right now, I'm no longer in charge of Follow the Light. There's a committee in charge of Follow the Light. And anytime anybody wants to ask me anything Follow the Light, I say, go and meet the committee. Because I'm trying to take myself away from Follow the Light. I want Follow the Light to be an institution that people can recognize outside of me. You understand? It's not a BigH thing. So if there is something you want to know about Follow the Light, it is that we are decentralizing Follow the Light. That is one. Number two is that for the very first time, Follow the Light this year is going to be in August and September. It is usually around May, June, July. And there's a reason why. Because we want to give people time to prepare. And if that preparation is in gathering the coins, gather the coins. If that preparation is in sorting out your accommodation, sort out your accommodation. Just plan. You understand?
Or
getting leave from work, whatever it is. And this year, by the special grace of Almighty God, is going to be the best class.
Amen.
By the special grace of God, it's going to be bigger than anything that we've ever done. And even if we have 10 students, I'm happy. 5 students, I'm happy. You know why? Because we want this class to be very, very impactful.
Substance.
And have a lot of substance. And we've carefully picked the facilitators. Again, I only suggest when they brought the list to me, they said, these are the people we're considering. I said, okay, can I give you my own list? So I added maybe 2 or 3. They've gone back, you understand? And just to give you guys heads up, Ijeoma's name is on that list.
Because you only sent me on errand, though. They only asked me to ask you. You have thrown me to the wolves.
So I've said the names to them. The committee will go back and come back to me and say, we like your suggestion or we don't like. And when they say we don't like, you hands off, because you have empowered them to work. So allow them to work. Yes, so that's what I want to say about Follow the Light. I think the only other thing would be that if you have the opportunity to attend Follow the Light, I greatly recommend Follow the Light for anybody who wants to take their photography seriously, because Follow the Light is not only one person
It's
teaching.
not only one person.
Nah, there are multiple people
And
teaching.
like you heard, it's not just about photography. You
Nah.
meet people, like-minded people. You build network of people that you ordinarily would not have met.
There's something we're introducing this year, and I think Zala is watching, and she's going to be very angry with me for saying this, because that's my boss.
Yes.
In Follow the Light Matters. But this year we are also introducing something called keynote speeches.
Oh.
So there would be inspirational figures who give
Yes.
keynote speeches before we go into the
Yes.
technical
Yes.
aspects. And the keynote speeches are geared towards them telling their story and inspiring something within you. You just
Yes.
never know which seed would germinate.
Yes.
Yes.
You've heard it from the boss's mouth. And honestly, I think one gift I will leave with you, if you, as long as finance is not a problem for you, as long as time is not a constraint for you, but even these things you can work out. If this thing is the one thing that's important to you, I always say Follow the Light class was one of the biggest investments I've made in my career. I've bought gadgets worth thousands of dollars and whatever. But you see, Follow the Light class, at the time, it cost me 150,000 naira. My
At
mommy
that time.
gave me that 150,000 naira. And it's such a huge blessing. It's such a huge blessing for me. Is almost like a pipeline to where I am today. So don't look at it. I don't know how much it is. I'm not in the community. I'm just here to.
She was about to say two things:
Yes,
committee and community. So she said, "I'm not in the community."
I'm not there. I'm just doing the assignment you sent me. But I will advise you, if you can do it, do it. It will be an investment to your future. You see how investment is not just treasury bills.
I see what you did there.
Investment could be knowledge,
love
how much
that.
you pay to invest in yourself. And do you know the thing? Nobody can take your skill from you. Tomorrow, if I wake up and I say I want to live in Kenya now, my photography is inside me.
Bam,
If I don't even have camera, you've heard it, I have my phone.
bam.
Do you get it? So nobody can take the skills and the soft skills that invest in yourself. So it's an investment. It also grants you access, because it's not just access to the biggest studios community. Now, these other people that are coming, these facilitators, you have access to them. So as much as you can, please register for the Follow the Light class. Thank you.
You heard that from the boss's mouth.
You just wanted to do that. Oh, thank you, Uncle BigH, for sharing so much.
Oh, we're
with
done?
us today. Yes, we're done.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
Oh, I thought there was room for one more question. Thank you so
yes.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to just say thank you for making this happen. Usually very careful with podcasts and platforms
Yes.
that I speak on. I think BigH was telling me recently that these things that you share shouldn't just be going everywhere. You understand? And today is a moment of pride, immense pride for me, to have one of our own, a daughter in all ramifications of the word, a daughter that we are very, very proud of, come back to a place where she honed a lot of her skills, and to give back, because this is what I call it. She's not coming to take from us today. She's coming to give back. She's coming to say, look at where I am. Look at what I have become. Look at where I'm going. You understand? And I am so proud. When you said you wanted me to be on your platform, there's no other answer than yes. You understand? There's really nothing else that I would have said, and I'm just so grateful. And I'm also grateful for the questions, because sometimes a lot of these questions that we have are repeated. How did you start photography?
Yes.
What's your best gear? All of all those things. Very, very boring. But I feel like with this podcast, with what you've done with BigH, with what you've done with George Okoro, you understand, these are people who have great wisdom, who have so many years of experience, and a lot of people can tap from their wealth of knowledge. I would always say, if you have the opportunity to be with somebody like Auntie TY, Uncle K, and you're asking them what's your camera settings, what light did you use, you don't know what you're doing. You understand? Get into the minds of these people, understand what really makes them who they are. You understand? And those are the things that can benefit from you. And I think that's what's very, very different with what you're doing. I really can't wait to see, where you take it in the next 5 years, 10 years. And I know that I'll be back on your platform who would address different questions. We'll maybe have a lot more vulnerable sessions, so to say, where we have real talk. Do you understand? And maybe the next time I am back, it will be me, you, and then some students that are live to get. But I am happy. I have told so many people about you. I've used you as an example to not just my team, but to clients as well. And I am so grateful to God that you continue to, shine your light. You are a great ambassador for BigH Studios. BigH Studios is super proud of you and your journey. And, you're a phenomenal human being, not just an artist. So thank you. Thank you so much. I really wanted us to spend some time talking about honor. But maybe another time.
We will do that.
But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe to her channel.
Yes.
There's a lot that you can learn from her. God bless you. Peace.
Oh yeah, and guys, please don't forget to leave feedbacks. If you have further questions to ask, you have to meet.
I shall be charging for those.
Oh, good weekend.
Your grace period expires now. Any more questions?
Egoli. Just reserve it for the next people. But thank you so much, and I hope this video has been impactful for your life. I hope you get something. I hope this is not just entertainment for you. That's not the point of this. I want you to learn and pick up something along the way. So thank you so much.
Did you hear what she said? Osina ochorukunu learn something.
Yes.
You understand what I'm talking about? Peace. Bye. Cut. Off. She's talking too much. Off.